Hey scrapbook friends, it's Nicole from Nicole's Scrapbooks, and today I wanted to try something a little different, and that is to do a flip through of one of my recently completed scrapbooks, just so you can kind of see my style, maybe get to know me a little bit better. I love to show off my albums, and I wish I could show it to you in person, but right now I think video is going to have to be the way to go. So this album that I'm using was a incentive album last summer. I don't even know that it had a name. It's got kind of this very subtle red stripe on it, and it's perfect because this is an album of my 30-year high school reunion. I did grow up in Hawaii and graduated from high school there. It's where I met my husband. We are, in fact, high school sweethearts, and we're still married all these years later. But this time we had our reunion in Las Vegas, which was really fun. They call Las Vegas the ninth island because so many people from Hawaii have migrated to Vegas. It's a popular vacation destination. So it was a logical place to have our reunion back there in 2016. So this was kind of the logo from our retreat that somebody had created, and I just downloaded the picture from Facebook, printed it out. This Las Vegas title die cut is one that I bought from a vendor named Just Add Photos. I believe she sells her products through Scrappin' in the City, which is in Knoxville, Tennessee. But I think she also has a Facebook page, Just Add Photos. She does great work. And so then the other titles and things I cut with my silhouette using Make the Cut software, which is my favorite cutting software. All right, and I chose to use the black pages. I hadn't originally planned to, but as I was playing around with some layouts at the beginning, I thought, oh, I should try black pages, and I love the way they turned out. All right, so this is my 30-year high school reunion album. Here we go. All right, so we did, in fact, stay at the Hotel California. They cater to a lot of people from Hawaii, and somebody was able to get us a really good block rate at the hotel. I have a picture of us from the airport, a picture from the restaurant with some Aloha Shoyu, Aloha brand soy sauce, which is hard to find when you're not in Hawaii, and then our view and a little bit of the casino. And then I just journaled about how we graduated from high school together and where they talk about our group rate. I also talked about the cigarette smoke, which really surprised me. We don't stay at hotels usually that allow smoking anymore. So that was a big change. So this, I had one piece of this red dice paper, and you'll see that I used it several times through this album just by cutting it into little strips. And then, of course, the title on my silhouette, and you probably can't tell, but I traced around this with a black marker just to kind of make the letters pop up. And I kind of used their colors, so it's kind of the green of like a casino table and then the red to go along with the red dice. All right, so this is a layout about the reunion. I printed out screenshots of what our reunion schedule was. The first morning we all met for breakfast in the hotel restaurant. Not all of us, but a group of us happened to run into each other at breakfast, and so that was really fun. I think this paper was from Stampin' Up! A while ago. I think I have several pieces. This also, too, I think is also from that pack from Stampin' Up! A high school friend of mine, Amy, lives close by, and so the first day we went and met her for lunch. I think this paper is close to my heart, and I probably got this idea from a sketch on Pinterest because it just looked really cute and Pinteresty to me and not necessarily something I would have come up with on my own. So we were in Vegas and, of course, had some sightseeing time to do, and we decided to go see the Hoover Dam. My husband loves to make dam jokes. He loves to drive over a dam and say, oh, damn. And so, you know, we always have said we have to go to Hoover Dam so he can make all his dam jokes. And so that's what we did. The Hoover Dam is kind of decorated in an Art Deco style because of when it was built. And so I really looked a long time for something that would go with that Art Deco style. And I was at a scrapbook store, probably Daisy Lane scrapbooking in Mattoon, Illinois, and I found 3 or 4 pieces, I can't remember, of this kind of black paper with a kind of an Art Deco-y. So I bought all that they had, but I had to be very frugal with it so that I would have enough for all my Hoover Dam pictures. So I saved our little wristbands. I hesitated because the color is totally wrong for all this, but oh well, I saved them anyway. And then right here where I have our tickets, I also made a pocket. So this is a pocket with the map that we got from the Hoover Dam, and then it will slide back in here. Because I use Creative Memories albums, the page protectors are sealed at the top and bottom. So when I put the page protectors on, they'll be open on this side. So should anybody want to look at this map, they can just reach in and pull it out from there. All right, so some more dam photos. I made a Facebook post about getting a dam ice cream, and apparently I like to make dam jokes too. All right, so again, I just am using a few little pieces of the precious Art Deco paper that I had, but I think with the black pages, it just really looks good and was exactly what I wanted. They're simple pages, but they let the emphasis be on the pictures. I also picked one font. I don't remember the name of it. I could probably look it up. If anybody cares, ask me in the comments, but I picked one font for all the Hoover Dam layouts. So between the paper and then the font, I feel like it ties all these layouts together of this. So you know that you're looking at still Hoover Dam, same event. Pictures. And I usually do titles on almost every page, and I just couldn't. There was nothing to say. We did really like this little tunnel. It reminded us of that scene in The Fugitive, you know, where he jumps off of the out of the dam. We didn't jump out. We did kind of look out. In this picture, I put my camera outside of the out of the louvers and took the picture from the inside. That was plenty scary enough for me. Then this is on the outside, and it's just kind of an overflow drainage ditch. It was the most terrified I've probably been in my life, leaning over and looking at this big cavern. Even though I know it's just basically a concrete slide that goes down the river, it was just terrifying. I was like, this, I called it the gateway to hell. That's not their name. That's just my name. But I was terrified. That was terrifying for me. And then also just one of the things they talked to you about at the dam is how badly this area has been impacted by drought. And so like these towers were supposed to be covered in water, and in fact have been covered in water. And that's why they needed this spillway, but they haven't needed the spillway in decades. And so it was just interesting. You can see the white lines on the mountains back here. And I don't know how many feet it is, 50 feet, I don't know, but really low water levels, which was a little bit scary. All right, so then we talked a little bit about the Art Deco. I took pictures of some of the signs that explained it. So I didn't do a lot of journaling because the pictures are going to tell that story for me. And then, of course, my husband loves to play Pokemon, and I would caught him playing Pokemon all over. He loved that there were Pokestops at the dam, and I tease him about playing his damn Pokemon. And then we missed getting to go to the gift shop. I love to go to the gift shop when we're done. And well, that's one of our other jokes. I always want to go to the damn gift shop. And it closed at 5 o'clock and we weren't finished with our tour. And I didn't ever get to go to the damn gift shop and buy any damn souvenirs. So that was our day at Hoover Dam. And then we went back to Vegas, and our high school, the reason we decided to have the reunion the weekend we did is that our high school from Hawaii was playing a football game against one of the top-ranked U.S. high school football teams that is in Vegas. And so it wasn't just our class that was having a reunion. There were hundreds of people, like half of Hawaii felt like was there, and we all gathered on Fremont Street. And I don't know if you can tell, but it was jam-packed. So I took a few pictures of kind of this Fremont Street pep rally that they had. I think this was Thursday night. Maybe it was Friday night. I can't keep track, and I don't know if I wrote it down. So one of the nights we had this this fun pep rally on Fremont Street. And one of the girls who was there is a professional photographer and took some fabulous pictures of, you know, my classmates, people that I know. And so I was able to get great quality pictures of people from my class and friends of mine from Hawaii. So here again is that red dice paper. I don't know who made it. And then this is paper from the Imagine collection from Creative Memories, I believe. So, and then I did a third page. I like to do mostly 2-page spreads, but I only had one picture for this page, so I just filled in with more of these great pictures that I had. So this was a fun surprise, we found out that my husband's stepsister, who graduated from high school 10 years before we did, was there for her 40-year reunion, or 45. I can't remember. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even journal about it. So anyway, so I have one picture with her that we just happened to run into her. So I thought that was pretty fun. This again is probably a sketch from Pinterest, and I think this might be close to my heart paper. This one is pictures of a restaurant that my daughter, who lives in Utah, it is her favorite restaurant in the whole wide world. It's called Baby Stacks. It's a pancake restaurant. So we did actually eat there twice on our weekend in Vegas. But we took a few pictures, picture of the menu, and then we had included this on our list of possible reunion activities. And so some members from our high school class also came there and had breakfast with us. And I had this Baby Stacks Cafe logo that I'd printed out from the internet, and I liked the circles. And so I used a incentive paper pack from Creative Memories from last fall called Wrapped in Red, and some red cardstock, a couple different colors. And I just did all these circles, and I think it turned out really fun and kind of pancakey. So then one of the other activities that was scheduled for us by the organizers was bowling at the Orleans. And so I have pictures of us bowling. Again, don't know where these papers come from. I'm not good at remembering, and I don't necessarily always know where the paper came from. So this was an 8x10, and I just cut it down so that I got rid of all the extra stuff so I could fit a few more pictures in. And then that night, so this must have been Friday night, was the actual reunion dinner. And so I have a bunch of pictures from that. I don't love this title, and I may change it at some point, but for now it's done. This was like a little bumper sticker that they gave us, and that might actually be plenty. But one of my favorite things to do, and one of the reasons I chose this album to show you, is what I like to do when I have a big group photo. And that's, I take a piece of like tracing paper and I just very lightly trace over each person's body shape, so that then on here I can create a little answer key to who the people are in these pictures. So I trace this over on tissue paper, I shrink it down on my copier, and then I just trace over it again. So it does involve a lot of tracing. I have a light table, and then it can just slide in, and it says right here, pull out to see who's who. And I just think that's a fun way to, you know, journal and label who all the people are in a large group photo like that. And again, opens on the side because it's a Creative Memories album. If you were using maybe a top loading page, you might want to have it open at the top so you could pull it up. But for me, I like to do it from the side. And then I just have a bunch of you know, professional, another classmate's a professional photographer, had a little photo area set up. And so I have a bunch of great pictures that I got from him. And I just kind of used the same, this is Creative Memories Platinum Shimmer paper. And then I have a red shimmer from somebody else, a white shimmer, just the little polka dots, just to kind of tie all these reunion dinner pictures together. This one didn't have a lot of room because I filled in lots of pictures. And you can see I put some little strips just with people's names. I haven't finished all that, and there are actually a couple people that have changed enough that I don't necessarily remember their names. But I'm going to find those out and put those back in. It just so happened that a few days before we went to Las Vegas for our reunion, my beloved aunt died. She lived in southern Utah, about 45 minutes away from Las Vegas. And it was just such a tender mercy that the timing worked out that we could go to her funeral. I don't know that I would have been able to afford last minute tickets to go to her funeral. And so it was just a blessing. And it was so wonderful to see my cousins and spend time with them. And my parents and my sister drove down from farther north in Utah, and it was just a beautiful thing. And so it doesn't really belong in a vacation album, but it was a highlight of that weekend for me, was to get to go to her funeral, which was Saturday morning, coincidentally, when there were no other reunion activities planned. So that was just a blessing and something that I'm very thankful for. I think this is Stampin' Up! Paper. And I felt like the colors were subtle and and I liked it, and it gave me lots of room to journal about the experience. So then that night we went back for the football game, and this is the whole kind of purpose of having our reunion when we had it, was so that we could go support our alma mater at this football game. And again, I had like one piece of this football paper, so I really had to kind of be frugal with it and just stretch it to work several pages. But I had great pictures, and again, some taken by other people that we shared on our reunion page, and so it was great and so much fun to just see so many people that, you know, we haven't seen in years and years. So another continuation of that same page, the people in line. Somewhere I think I have our real tickets, but I couldn't find them. So I was really glad that I'd taken a picture of them. And then of course I did a lot of journaling, just about how the deal was with the football game and just that whole story. I'm a big believer in a lot of journaling. And then again, I think I must have had two pieces of this paper because I have enough to run it across here. This is probably one paper, and this was probably one paper for just the actual game. You know, some selfies by me and then some taken by other people. So it's really handy if you're in a Facebook group and somebody else is sharing pictures to just kind of nab those. I must have had 4 pieces of this football paper because I fit it all in, although I do kind of feel like I had to patch it on here, so I can't remember maybe what I did exactly, but I thought it turned out cute, and then I had a little bit of this. I think this was a Creative Memories football paper pack. I don't remember. So anyway, so there was the last night of the football game. And then, you know, our high school was in a town in Hawaii called Kahuku, and my husband loves poke, you know, the Hawaiian raw fish stuff. And there happened to be a restaurant in Las Vegas called Kahuku Poke, and it actually talks about the little shopping center across the street from our high school that now has become famous for its poke, and like busloads of Japanese tourists come by and buy poke from the Kahuku Superette. And so that was just really fun to have that on the wall. Here we are in Las Vegas and to get to see that. This is some old CM paper. I think it was called Enchanted. It's embossed. So like this black and then these stripes have a little bit of texture, which is really fun. Of course, you can't go to Vegas without going to the Strip, but I had not been feeling well. I think being in that smoky California hotel, even though we didn't have smoking in our room, I was just not feeling great the next day. And so we didn't actually do a lot on the Strip. So Sunday we kind of just stayed around, and I took a nap and caught up on Facebook and stuff. But Sunday night we did go down to the Strip, drove around. So these are just pictures I took from the car. This is one of my favorite little techniques to make these little circular light bulbs. And this is with the Creative Memories Crown Border Maker cartridge. That's a retired cartridge, but it looked kind of like the little Sorry game playing pieces, which just were a little triangle with a circle on the top. And so I just layered 2 of them and made those little circles for the border. And then I love this next page where I did the Bellagio Fountain. The paper here, I had 3 different shades of vellum. So I had one that was kind of not a dark gray, but gray, a lighter gray, and white. And I punched it with the Decorative Arcs Creative Memories Border Punch. This was the first border punch that Creative Memories came out with a couple years ago, and they were kind of testing the waters, and it sold out really quick. So it's kind of precious, and you don't see a whole lot of it, but I love the way that it just worked out with the layering. And vellum's tricky, because especially on black, because you can't really, there's not a lot of adhesives that won't show through. And so actually on this, it's not even stuck down. It is stuck to the picture, and it's stuck under here. The strip went all the way across, and it's adhered here, but it's just floating right here. So once I get a page protector on, you'll never know that. But that's the only way I know to, you know, not have adhesive show, is to avoid having adhesive that anywhere that it will show. So then we went into the Bellagio. This is some more of that Stampin' Up paper that happened to be like little poker chips. And this is the back of that, I think, because it's a little black and white. And these are actually those little kind of Sorry shaped playing pieces right here, game pieces. that I was able to just flip around and make this all work. Went to the world's largest chocolate fountain. I actually have had this chocolate chip paper probably for 15 years, maybe 20 years. I think it was in an old hot off the press book. We used to get pattern paper in little books, and it was a book of different foods, and I thought I can finally use that piece of chocolate chip paper. And of course we didn't get chocolate at the chocolate fountain. We got, you know, pistachio and melon or something like that. And I wrote about this being in the Guinness Book of World Records. I didn't write about it. I took a picture of the sign, and that way I didn't have to write about it. And then back to baby cakes. And then my friend Alicia, who I met online, but we've become very good friends, happens to live in Las Vegas. And so she came in and met us for breakfast. And so it was fun to write about her. And until I was looking at this on the camera, I didn't realize that apparently my journaling was a little bit crooked. But that doesn't matter because I journaled, and that's what's important. And then finally, the last page, you know, you got to go to that iconic Las Vegas sign and get your picture taken. But there was a huge long line, and it was super hot. And so we just kind of went off to the side and took a selfie. And so the sign's not huge, but I have the sticker. I think these are Jolie's stickers. And then this is a piece of vellum. And, you know, I love to use kind of the thicker stickers on the last page of a book, because I know there's nothing on the other side that they're going to press against. I'll just be pressed against the back cover. So there you go. That's my 30-year high school reunion album that I made. I've just finished it right now during the kind of stay at home. I hope that you enjoyed flipping through it with me, and let me know if this is something you would like me to do with other albums. I've even thought about maybe doing some of my older albums. I have a lot. I have over 100 completed 12 by 12 albums on my shelf, and I would love to show them to you if there's interest. So if you enjoyed my video, I would love to have you subscribe. I would love to have you comment and tell me what kind of things you would like to see, and especially if you liked having a little flip through of my album. Okay, I hope you are doing great, and that you've enjoyed spending this time with me, and happy scrapbooking!